Cymru for so many years. It's been over 200 years now. Maybe we could learn a thing or two here in Wales. And just for personal gain, I mean, I love to travel and to meet new people from different cultures. So I'm really excited just to get stuck in.
Megan and Angharad, pob luck to you both. It sounds like a trip of a lifetime. Well, it's coming up to 8 o'clock here on Friday the 13th of February. You're listening to BBC Radio Wales Breakfast with me, Claire Glyn-Jones, and Oliver Hyde. Still to come, the Welsh Conservatives will be hearing from Darren Miller after the news.
Yep, Six Nations tickets, thousands unsold. We'll look into that. Yolo Williams will be here as well with his memories of the Sea Empress disaster, and we'll mark Welsh Language Music Day with electro-pop star Annie Glass. That's all coming up after the latest news, sport, travel and weather for Wales.
This is Radio Wales on BBC Sounds, or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Wales.
BBC News for Wales at 8 o'clock. This is Rebecca Miles. Tens of thousands of tickets for Wales's 3 home games in the Six Nations rugby tournament haven't been sold yet. It's led to a warning it could mean significant financial losses for the Welsh Rugby Union, and comes as the game in Wales is in turmoil over restructuring plans for the regional teams. Sports economist Professor Calvin Jones told Radio Wales Breakfast that this level of low demand for tickets is unprecedented.
Although the quality of the rugby has gone up and down since the 1970s, it's unprecedented that we see this level of absent demand. In the past, we would have seen low demand maybe for weak opponents. To see low demand for strong opponents is what's very different about this last couple of years, and particularly obviously this season.
The Welsh Rugby Union says around 1,000 tickets have been sold every day this week, but it's acknowledged that buying habits have changed. The Conservatives' leader in the Senedd, Darren Miller, will speak at his party's spring conference today after 2 defections among his senior backroom team. Deputy Chief of Staff Zach Weaver and Senior Communications Officer Thomas Llewellyn have taken jobs with Reform UK. In his conference speech, Mr Miller will say Reform isn't a serious party and that Plaid Cymru are extremists who would damage Wales by breaking up the United Kingdom. The political consultant Laura Emily Dunn has previously worked with senior Conservatives in Westminster. She told Radio Wales Breakfast that Mr Miller will be focused on getting the party's message across.
I think it's probably just a little distraction, but, members and the MSs and Darren as leader will be really focused on today and tomorrow, setting out their stall in what is a really important set piece for the party as we head towards May.
Radio Wales Breakfast will speak to Darren Miller in the next 20 minutes. Rescue teams brought 3 rock climbers to safety last night after an incident off the Pembrokeshire coast. Coastguards were called to St Govan's Head at around 4 p.m. President Trump's abandoned a legal ruling which limits carbon dioxide emissions in the United States. The 2009 endangerment finding concluded that a range of greenhouse gases were a threat to public health. The Trump administration says that revoking it would save people money, but former President Barack Obama warned that the move will make them less safe. Justin Rowlatt reports.
President Trump is calling this the largest act of deregulation in the history of the United States. The endangerment finding was a ruling made by the Obama administration back in 2009 that greenhouse gases are a danger to public health because of the climate change they cause and therefore should be regulated. Critics say any short-term cost savings for American consumers from scrapping the regulations will be outweighed by the longer-term impacts of climate change, and they've vowed to challenge the decision in court.
The Prime Minister will join more than 50 international leaders at the Munich Security Conference in Germany today. Europe's relationship with the United States will be under further scrutiny at the first such meeting since President Trump outlined his plans to take control of Greenland. A 17-year-old girl died after a 3-car crash in Cwmbran yesterday. It happened on the A4042 between the Crown and Turnpike roundabouts, and police are appealing for information. And a Second World War archive that belonged to Dame Vera Lynn has been acquired by the Imperial War Museum. She was credited with boosting morale with her wartime radio show, and the archive includes her BBC contract as well as her diary from a 1944 tour of India. Sport now, Wales football boss Craig Bellamy says he's very excited by the draw for next season's Nations League. His side will face champions Portugal as well as Denmark and Norway after being promoted to League A. Wrexham will be looking to reach the fifth round of the FA Cup for the first time in 29 years. That's when they host Ipswich tonight. We'll bring you live coverage here on BBC Radio Wales and on BBC One Wales with kick-off at 7:45. And this morning, Wales head coach Steve Tandy will name his starting 15 to face France at home in rugby's Six Nations on Sunday. That's the BBC News for Wales. Our next at 8:30.
BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Good morning, I'm Jules Buckley. Still problems north of Bridgend on Bridgend Road. The A4063 closed both ways between the paper mills and Ysgol Govan Gymraeg Llanganoid. That's at the scene of a collision there. Queuing just to the northeast of Newport Golf Club in Rogerston. Mescoid Road is closed both ways. A big queue north up the A470 up toward the Abercynon roundabout and the Britannia Bridge, the A55. Restrictions now in place for bikes, motorbikes and caravans. For everyone else, sign set to 30 miles an hour. I'll bring you more in 15 minutes.
BBC Radio Wales weather.
Good morning, I'm Sabrina Lee. Colder over the next few days with some winter weather in the forecast. So today, rain, sleet and hill snow sliding southwards. Snow accumulating mainly up over the hills, strengthening winds, windiest out to the west with highs of 5 to 9 Celsius. Tonight, most places dry, clear and cold with frost and ice. Temperatures either side of freezing. Tomorrow looks largely fine during daylight hours. The best the sunshine in the morning, but then more rain, sleet and snow tomorrow night away from coastal areas. Many of us have the chance of seeing a little bit of snow. That's your latest.
BBC Radio Wales Breakfast.
It's coming up to 6 minutes past 8. Bore da, good morning. You're listening to BBC Radio Wales Breakfast with Larry Glyn Jones and Oliver Hyde. The Welsh Conservative Conference kicks off this weekend, but more defections to reform. We'll hear from the Tory Senedd leader in a few moments.
Yeah, first though, before that,